Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Prepare to have your bones chilled and your hairs raised. It's the WacArnold's Brothers podcast.
Welcome home.
Getting there slowly but surely.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever, if the t-shirt fits, then keep wearing it, I guess. I couldn't come up with a good rhyme in time. Anyway, okay, so WacArnold's Brothers. We are here. You are here, dear listener. This is episode 14. Holy cow.
Baby. Woo-wee!
We got, if you had 2 weeks to listen, you could listen to an episode a day now. There you go. That's great.
That's awesome. That's a good way to look at it.
It's a great way to fill up 2 weeks worth of mornings, okay?
It's almost like a day's worth. Like you could just listen to all of them and it'd be like
Yeah, like you just wake up, you hit the WacArnold's Brothers #1 and you just coast until current. And it'll probably just lull you right back into bed at that point, or at least, Oh man, that'd be it. I fear for the hot dog that actually listens to the sounds of our voices right before sleep.
Yeah,
I wonder.
It would give me nightmares.
But oh my god, dude. Speaking of nightmares, though, like this.
Yeah.
This movie, man. We picked out Shakma. Which is I guess an animal horror movie.
Killer baboon movie, yeah.
Killer baboon movie. It's a class of its own.
90s had a lot of like killer animal movies. Well, maybe not a lot, but it seemed like it was like a popular thing because there was another movie in the 90s about a killer dog called Man's Best Friend. And then obviously like in the 80s there was Cujo. But
I think you're right. Okay. I also remember like really like cheesy like Killer Bee movies from the 90s and stuff like that. Like
it's like, of course I can't think about it now that we're talking about it, but when I was watching the movie last night, I was like, oh yeah, there's this movie. Like there was a lot of there's a movie called Crocodile,
Oh, yeah.
No, it was Alligator. Sorry, not Crocodile.
Well, there's
I should have wrote them all down because there's a bunch of like killer animal movies around this time. Like,
dude, what about Arachnophobia? Dude, that movie fucking like freaked me the hell out when I was a kid. Like, I already had like an issue with spiders. That movie by no means is like a super frightening movie nowadays, but like just the idea that like I don't know, this like jungle spider can like
come to America. Yeah. Okay. There was also Monkey Shines, which is a George Romero movie about this guy that gets disabled and they pair like a little capuchin monkey with him and they end up like getting linked like telepathically, and this little monkey goes and kills for him.
Oh my god.
It's actually a decent movie. So there's a couple more, I guess.
I've seen that floating around. I don't know if I've ever watched it, but
it's not the best.
There's like a handful, man. Like look at them. Like you said, Man's Best Friend. Anaconda is technically that was 97.
Jesus.
Arachnophobia. Is Tremors an animal? No, Tremors is like a class of it's a sci-fi. Lake Placid. That's like a
another alligator crocodile movie. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
There was enough of them to go around. Yeah.
Can't forget about Pet Sematary 2. Eddie Furlong.
It's a good movie. Yeah.
Dude, that movie is. Yeah.
There's some creepy shit in that movie. Like,
yeah. I think there's one about giant ticks.
It's called Ticks.
It's called Ticks.
But speaking about Pet Sematary 2 really quick, there's like a super gnarly death scene in there where one of the characters is wearing a scarf and it gets caught in a dirt bike fucking wheel. Like, that'd be brutal, bro. Like, we just like rip your face off.
Yeah, and just like the moments of pain that you experience right before just like ultimate demise, like what a fucked way to go out.
It's a creative death. Like,
It is a creative death.
Anyway,
Anyway.
we're not talking about, you know, some of those other like better
We're talking about motherfucking Shakma.
Shakma. Which is it's actually got it actually has like a unique premise, and also like the ending was pretty fucking creative too. So like, you know, it's not the worst movie, but it's kind of hard to make a movie about a killer baboon, you know?
Yeah, I'll say like the pace of this movie kind of threw me off. Like, it's really interesting because, you know, like most of this movie obviously takes place in like one central location.
Well, the whole movie does, yeah.
Yeah, the whole movie does. Exactly. And so but it's like, it was just like, I don't know, like at some moments it was just like too slow, where I was just like, okay, I get what's happening in this scene, but like maybe they're just dragging it out for the sake. But you could also tell that I think they gave some of the actors like some time to sort of like try some things out and
before they die.
Yeah. You know, like, but
a lot of the movie though was like the Shakma, the baboon, like just going. Okay, I'm gonna
say it.
Yeah. Going ape. There's like all these different shots of him like barreling towards a door and like smashing into a door and like like, you know, going crazy.
It's so true though. He's like there's, I don't even know how many times like you see that baboon slam into a door and just like,
yeah,
like,
that'd be frightening. Like
it really would, man. It really would.
Because he's just going fucking ape shit. He's like,
yeah.
But
yeah, dude,
so,
it's for real though.
But
okay, so the movie jumps you like right into this like sequence.
Yeah,
I was kind of thrown off by at first because like you don't really like catch a glimpse. It's so basically, who's it? Rodney McDowell,
you don't know
who's playing.
Who's amazing. Yeah,
he's playing Professor Sorensen. You don't really like, you see him and like some other medical students, or what look like medical students, and like some people taking notes like while they're performing like a surgery. Or something, and you don't see what they're performing on.
Right.
And it's just like a little bit later that you're just kind of like told that was like a baboon that they were working on.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But it's kind of a cool way to open it up, you know, like 'cause they literally like start the movie off with them opening up the skull and like putting, they inject what was it called? It was like some corticotropine or something like that.
Yeah, it was apparently something that was supposed to like get rid of its aggressive behavior, you know.
Yeah, and they make a mention like, but sometimes it doesn't work and it makes them more aggressive.
You're right. I
was like, is that foreshadowing?
Well, we see that like happens instantly. We're like, because they like wheel them in, and then there's some of the characters you're talking. There's Sam, Bradley, Gary, and Tracy are all like medical students there.
Yeah. And
this is when, like, you know, they wheel Shakma in, and they're like, oh, you know, it didn't go well or whatever. And Sam's like, what?
Yeah. Oh, what? Dude, he has these wide eyes this whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But,
he does.
Like, you're right. He has like, Sam has like a little personal attachment to Shakma because he's been like training him or working with him.
Right.
You start realizing like, this is when you start realizing really quickly that like this is like some sort of like medical lab or like medical or scientific facility for like on a campus
animals,
or something.
yeah.
I don't know, where they're experimenting on animals or whatever. It's like, because there's like other animals in this scene, you know, there's like, you know, cages with other animals in there,
different
like,
types of monkeys. Yeah, there's cats and dogs. Yeah. But as they're talking, like, Shakma just like pops alive, you know.
Dude, Shakma was like, so at first it like they have their whole interaction, and they're kind of talking about, it happens like earlier too, like really quickly. They mention like this like the game, Professor.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the are we gonna get to the game tonight or whatever? And you're just like you're thinking like, okay, they're talking about like maybe like a sporting event or something. But then like there's like the whole sequence where they wheel Shakma in, they give him like, or he pops up and then that's when they inject him with like another sedative.
It's supposed to be like a sedative or a tranquilizer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that word there. I was like, sedative. Anyway, so Shakma's pumped full of a lot of shit at this point, and this is where like they kind of Sorensen, if I'm correct, he kind of tasks Sam with, he's sort of like, dude, like that guy, he walks into the room, the professor, and he basically is just like, well, that didn't fucking work, pump him full like 200 more milligrams, and Sam's like, that'll kill him, and he's like, so
well, he's like, well, maybe it'll work next time or something like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
I was like, oh god. But anyway, so they task Sam with doing that, or at least he takes it on, but then it's like, dude, you're the one with the personal attachment, like of course this is going to be hard for you,
right? But but if you notice, there's like where they're talking about the game and he accidentally grabs the wrong bottle. He doesn't grab the tranquilizer, like he grabs something else and accidentally injects Shakma with that. So it's like they think that he's dead,
Yeah. But
another key thing is that they Richard goes to cremate him, and Sorensen again is like, no, I need to perform a necropsy on him tomorrow,
Yeah,
so that's the setup. That's the setup.
Well, I thought that scene was really funny though, because like the whole thing was like they're just like, just leave him here, and so he just like he wheels him like next to the the cremator, he reels him into the crematorium or whatever, and he goes, and then like the professor comes in, and then they just like leave him like sitting there. They don't like do anything else with them. They're just like, whatever, just fucking leave the body here, but don't touch it.
Right, and that's part of the setup for the movie, obviously.
Oh yeah. But then you start kind of getting a little more into this whole game that they're talking about, and like the setup for that, which is actually really fucking interesting if you ask me. Like I would be interested to play a game like this.
I've never done like Dungeons and Dragons or any of that role playing stuff. Like I've always been interested by it, but this looks cool where they're like in a building, and there's different floors, and they gotta go collect clues, and then there's like a princess, and then there's a guy walking around in a mask who's like the nemesis. It would be cool. It would be.
And
they've got like trackers and walkie-talkies. Like
they have this dude. Is it Bradley?
Bradley,
the guy that's like, he's like, he must be the computer tech, the real nerd of the group or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like they want. It's not Sam. It's fucking Ronald or whatever.
Richard.
So Richard goes to interact with or no, is it Sam?
It is Sam, yeah.
God damn it is Sam. So they're talking, this is kind of how the game gets explained, where like he meets with Bradley. Bradley's like working on finalizing everything on the computer. Again, this is a classic like 90s, early 90s computer where it's like, it reminded me of computers that I've seen personally, but they have this like whole floor layout set up for their game on the computer screen, and like you were just mentioning, they have trackers for everybody and like walkie-talkies for specific lines to individual players, and it honestly, like, it just like, I was just, like, that maybe was my big takeaway from the movie. It was like, damn, I want to set up something like this because that'd be fucking fun.
So like basically how this is gonna work is, so here's I'm gonna say all the characters and what their role is in the game. So Sorensen is the game master.
Of course.
All right. Richard gets suckered into playing Nemesis. Richard's little sister gets introduced. She's Kim, and she's playing the princess. I'll talk more about her in a second. And then we got Bradley, Gary, Tracy, and Sam, who are all playing the game. So these are all the characters that are about to be locked into this building, which happens in a minute. But first, they introduce Kim. She's Richard's little sister, and she's clearly like in middle school or something, Dude, but they kind of try to build this creepy dynamic between her and Sam. Like, even though he's dating Tracy.
They really do. I was so weirded out by that. I was like, God, she looks so young. And I'm like, why are they trying to like build this like flirty, like kind of like vibe between them? Is like, this is strange. This is really like, strange. And you're right. Like Sam's already in his character's already in a relationship.
Yeah. But they make it clear that Kim like has a crush on him, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, which I mean, it kind of makes sense because like I definitely, you know, my sister was older than me and I was definitely like, damn, growing up, some of her friends were, you know, beautiful. Like
for sure. Like you have the kind of kid crush where you're just like, yeah.
Like it's never gonna work, but I can still, you know.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and so you know, like you just mentioned, they get locked. Like basically the idea is that the building is locked down.
Like this happens shortly later, but yeah, they're basically Sorensen's like, I locked all the doors, like no one's leaving until someone wins this game. So that's, you know, anyway.
Yeah, and they disable like the fire alarms and stuff because it went off. Because it does go off earlier. Actually, I think we forgot to. I kind of blanked on mentioning that. And
well, it's not like super important, but yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So they basically just like they set it up so there's just like no connection for any of the characters to be able to like, I don't know, get out or anything later. You can kind of it's a pretty big setup. But so once they start kind of getting into the game a little bit, you know, players are moving around, there's clues that they're trying to find and stuff like that. Well, Shakma kind of at some point, you know, he starts gaining consciousness. I think the first things you see are his hands moving.
And then there's a quick scene where you don't see what's going on, but it's like it shows where it's like nighttime now, and before they start their game, it shows a quick scene of you hear like something shrieking, and then you see blood like fly against a small window, and this is where like
that's right.
So it's like you come to learn very quickly that obviously that's Shakma and he's alive and he just murdered all these different animals.
Shakma angry, dude.
Yeah. But like you're saying, so yeah, they're starting the game, and
it's kind of interesting. You know, you know they're all kind of, you know, doing their thing. You're kind of trying to find clues and whatnot, and Bradley seems to be having like the most success. With his clues. I mean, doesn't you know? It's just the way the guys like this. Whoever the actor was, I'd have to look it up, but the guy that played Bradley, I don't know if he was intending on coming off as such like a kind of like, I don't know, just like jerky sort of like guy, but he definitely hit his note, like kind of cocky sort of like, and like as he was catching his clues, he was super weird with his mic and stuff. He was like
super quiet,
like talking to like really quietly, like his ASMRing the fucking game master over there, like. But it was cool just like that they, you know, still like the interesting dynamic of like Sorensen is really the only person that has any sort of like he's the only person that's like the connecting communicator at this moment.
Yeah, because everyone's on a different channel on their walkie-talkie. Yeah,
and so Bradley, it's basically just, you know, Bradley can interact with him maybe a little bit, but anyway, so as Bradley's like wandering, he sneaks into the room with the nemesis. At one point, and fucking Nemesis boy just sort of like
Richard,
hides. Richard. He just sort of like hides away, because I mean, it seems like he's not really like in the game, you know what I mean?
No, because like he originally wanted to, but then he has like a date with his girlfriend Laura that night, so he kind of wants the game to go quick, you know.
So he's trying to move it along in his own way by
by not participating.
But so, you know, like and so when Bradley leaves that room, the game master kind of has this, he's like, you know, he thinks like that Richard like fell asleep or something, or no, Richard tells him that he's dozed off. Actually, he was like, I fell asleep. And then they sort of, you know, so Bradley kind of moves on, but he eventually comes to like the specimen room for like another clue.
Yeah.
And this is like the first major like Shakma interaction, I'd say. You know,
Yeah.
Where it's
Because
like
he hears something and he thinks it's the Nemesis, you know.
yeah. Which, by the way, the Nemesis mask was pretty on. Like that was the mask that was on the cover of this movie when I saw it. And I was like, oh shit, did they like mutate some sort of baboon or something?
Like you would be very like going into this, if you just saw that cover, you would think it was like a guy in a monkey that mask like killing people. Like no, it's a fucking baboon.
It's a fucking baboon. And that baboon fucking kills Bradley, man.
Yeah.
Like
it's funny because like they show like a little nerd, like he's part of the game and he thinks the Nemesis is in there, so he picks up a bag of immobilizing crystals, which are in the game. I guess if you have these crystals and you come across the Nemesis and you use them, he can't like impede your progress, I'm assuming.
yeah, like he maybe can't. Yeah, exactly. That ain't gonna stop Shakma though.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, Shakma, like,
and he's the one that finds like all the dead animals, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's like, I mean, and what an eerie scene that would have been to walk into, you know what I mean?
For real.
There's like this room full of like all these like fucking freshly killed animals, and then, you know, Shakma. Well, dude, like, what would you prefer? Like, I don't know. I guess like getting attacked by a baboon would probably be a pretty rough way to go out.
That'd be awful. Yeah.
But and you know, Bradley finds that demise, man. Like it shows. So Shakma, like every time Shakma like mauls somebody, it is fucking gnarly. Like it looks.
He just
gnarly.
goes berserk.
Yeah, exactly. Like he just like Wolverine berserker rage, just sort of like, you know, starts
like,
fucking. He's just like raging on him, dude. And every single time, this like, dude, the fact that they used a real fucking baboon.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is the most like mind blowing thing to me. Like
that must have been hard to like.
Oh, dude,
you know, get this baboon. I don't know, man.
To do the shit that you needed it to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that would.
And without it actually hurting anybody, like, yeah.
I found a picture. I mean, you probably can't see it, but there's like a baboon there. That's the baboon. that played Shakma, and its name was actually Typhoon.
Huh.
And yeah. I had to look it up because I was like, that's a real baboon, obviously. But like, you know, this is one of the with this first attack, you kind of notice that there's not a lot of crossover shots of people and Shakma. That only starts to happen a little later in the movie. At first, I think, and I was wondering if this was maybe because of a production thing. Maybe it was weird to try and like film with a baboon. So maybe they had to film separately. Like they just, you know, film Shakma maybe like running at the person, and then they'd film the person's like reaction, you know, or something like that. Because like sometimes it felt kind of disjointed, like the attacks and stuff.
Right.
But
which, like you said, changes. But
yeah, it does change. But it gets the mauling of Bradley I was honestly pretty satisfied, because I was like, dude, this guy's starting to give me the weebie jeebies, man. I'm tired of him. Like, I want Shakma to take him out.
And then like the next death is even gnarlier, which we're about to get to, because so he kills Bradley, and then you know, instantly, like after he dies, Sorensen tries reaching Bradley and on the radio and can't.
Yeah.
So then he gets a hold of Richard, and he basically tells him to relocate to room 524 and to go find Bradley because his radio isn't working. So then there's this like long scene of Richard going to investigate, and then Richard, you know, on the way he hears a sound in another room, thinking it might be Bradley. So he puts on the Nemesis mask and tries to scare him, and he's not in there. But it eventually leads to Richard goes into the room where, you know, next to where Bradley got killed, and finds blood on his radio.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly you see Shakma just he comes running, and Richard like goes into a closet first.
Yeah, he chases him like, into a closet rather than just like standing there and taking it. Like that's what I kept thinking with this movie too. By the way, I was like, maybe I could take this baboon, and then he'd attack somebody, and I'd be like, no, I couldn't. I could never take this baboon.
That thing is so fast. Yeah,
so fucking fast. But yeah, you're right. He chases Richard into a closet, and like Richard's like holding the door back. Shock was fucking pounding it, dude. He's like fucking raging on that thing. And eventually he's able to kind of like get his reach, and he looks around the room and he finds like a bottle of
fucking
a hydrochloric acid or something, right? Like,
of course,
just sitting in this closet.
I know, right? Like it wouldn't be in it. Oh wow,
dude. And like, what a scheme though. I kept wondering what he was gonna do. So he decides to take the bottle. He pours some out into like a glass or something, and eventually like, you know, he sort of sneaks out of the fucking closet because Shakma's kind of stopped with its, you know, banging.
This whole time he has the mask on top of his head still.
Yeah, it's still just kind of like on top, which is ridiculous. But I kept thinking, I was like, was he just gonna throw that acid in Shakma's face? He's just like,
like what was it gonna do? Yeah.
But instead, it kind of ends up back right on him, because like Shakma fucking attacks him again.
Yeah, when it shows his dead body later, it's like gruesome because he's
gnarly. Yeah,
it's like his throat's shredded, but then his face is also like half burnt from the acid obviously falling on him. Like,
yeah,
that'd be a shitty fucking way to die.
That would be, man. Like talking about dirt bikes or acid face. I don't know, man. The one like,
oh god, yeah.
But yeah, like what a shit way to die. And that was another thing. Like some of the like the shot of Richard's body later, like you mentioned, fucking gnarly. And that was some of the juiciest like special effects makeup like in the movie. I think like it was just fucking
yeah.
But yeah. So he gets aced, like, and it was pretty quick. You know, Shakma takes 2 out. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And that's like that. All kind of prompts like Sorensen, because now he's not able to get in contact with not only Bradley but now Richard. That he's like, well, why are these kids fucking off? And they're like, basically, he thinks that they're messing. I think he thinks that they're messing up his game, and so that's why he really wants to go investigate.
Yeah, he wants to go like figure it out.
Yeah, he's just
and while this is happening, Tracy and Sam, like they end up in the same room and they start some hanky panky, basically.
Yeah. They're finding clues. Tracy's found a few more clues than Sam. Sam's like, but I need some more clues. And next thing
forgot to mention that they put a bunch of money on the line. Like whoever wins gets $1,500.
Yeah, that's one that I think it's that scene where Tracy sort of like has this like line where she mentions like, that's a down payment on my new car or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Like she's invested in this game, man. But yeah. So yeah, those two characters are just kind of they're like the only characters that are really like together at this moment. You know, I'd say like everybody else, is
split
still
off,
kind of flying solo, because we still have like who's out there,
Gary. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Sorensen goes to investigate. You know.
Yeah.
He goes down to the floor that Richard's on. He locks the elevator so it stays open, and he's kind of going around, and he notices like little blood monkey paws on the ground, and also obviously finds Richard's fucking grotesque dead body.
Grotesque, yes. Dude, fucking gnarly. And Bradley's, I think he's also, you know, because Bradley's is just like right in the other room, but you don't really see. I don't think you see a close up of Bradley or anything like that.
Not until later, but yeah. But anyway, so he sees the dead body, and then he goes back out to the hallways. He's looking around, and he's heading back towards the elevator. And this is a creepy one where like he's heading to the elevator, and then in the shadows down the hallway, you see Shakma there, you know, like, and then out of nowhere, he just starts making a beeline towards fucking Sorensen and just pounces on him. Yeah, that'd be fucking terrifying, dude. You're like trying to get this elevator to work, and this fucking baboon is just
fucking raging right towards you, man. Oh my god.
But
yeah.
needless to say, he gets killed.
Yeah, he gets fucking mauled. Shakma takes no mercy on Sorensen.
Right.
Yeah, this like oh my god, dude, like, yeah, but he left. One of the important things about that whole scene was that he actually didn't he leave his key in the elevator.
I don't know because late. I think so because someone finds it later. But yeah, so he leaves the key in the elevator. But when he died, he fell to where the elevator can't close because
yeah. So he's like right in the middle of the door. So they kind of
because Sam hears like when Shakma kills Sorensen, he lets out like a primate screech.
Yeah. Dude.
Because Sam hears that. Yeah.
Shakma's just living it up at this point, man.
Yeah.
He don't give
a
fuck.
He's 3 bodies deep already.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Shakma stacked him in this movie. I will say.
Yeah.
That. Like, and this is where the movie, like, I really started wondering, like, was this movie kind of in that way sort of like riding on some of that like Cujo coattail? You know, like
Definitely.
you mentioned Cujo earlier, and like that was probably like
the
one
pinnacle,
of these standout, top like animal fucking going ballistic kind of movies.
That's a great movie. Yeah,
dude, it's
tension in that. Yeah,
it's still fucking gnarly.
Like that whole just they're in that car. Like that'd be a fucking awful situation. Like that's a well done movie.
But that but like that was like that immediately popped into mind as soon as like Sorensen went down. I was just like, damn, dude, like we got ourselves like an unstoppable fucking beast on our hands. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Not that he was rabid. Shock was not rabid, people. Okay, I'm not trying to project that. Shock doesn't need that negative vibe.
Jesus.
Anyway, so yeah, you're right. The Shakma's like the primate like post-kill screech alerts Sam that there's some fucking like something going on, and that's when they start kind of trying to investigate what's going on. They discover Sorensen's body. They end up starting to take like that's when the stairs becomes like start becoming like a real thing, like like they're running up and down like between floors.
Yeah, because they noticed that all these doors are locked and there's like they're locked in there. They need the keys, but they weren't on Sorensen's body.
Yeah,
there's like a lot of things that happen in like a lot, like they stretch it out.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like what's that?
They mentioned like in this scene that a lot, maybe it was a scene, but that most of the doors, like most of the rooms that have telephones are the teachers' lounges.
Yeah, and they're nowhere near
rooms.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
there's also like a scene where she thinks that like they should use this strobe light on to blind Shakma, and it doesn't work.
God, that was the dumbest scene. I was like, what are they doing? Like it works. It like maybe I'd try anything at this point, but like that was like it flashes once and it doesn't do shit to
and then
Shakma.
It just breaks. And
then like it like goes off maybe one other time and then they just throw it. They throw the thing at Shakma. And that's that was probably its best use. Was like yeah, that was fucking funny.
Yeah, there's like a couple different like drawn out like chase scenes where they try to go find the keys, but they're not on his body, like I said, and there's just a lot of like them running around and like barricading doors and Shakma jumping at doors and going crazy.
Yeah, lots of shots of Shakma going crazy on doors.
Mm-hmm.
There was I guess like that whole like strobe light scene. That was the sequence when like they kind of Tracy and Sam sort of split up for a moment.
Because I want to see if Richard's he wants to see if Richard's dead or not. Like he doesn't know if he's dead or not.
Yeah, and that's the one that you can definitely confirm. That motherfucker's dead.
Dead.
Yeah. But they confirmed that Richard's dead. And that they've already removed Sorensen's body. So that was basically like you were mentioning. They kind of like it's just a lot of them getting chased around and kind of like going through this and that, and then they start bringing Gary back into play.
Well, before that happens, one of the cool parts about this chase though is that like you said, they get split up, and Tracy's like hiding in a bottom part of a bookshelf. This part's cool.
Oh yeah,
where she's like hiding in the part of the bookshelf. Shakma smells her, and Sam kind of tricks Shakma into coming into a different room, and then runs out the other side to help her escape, and they get away again. Like that was that scene had some good like tension
I'd
where
agree.
you're like, but other than that, like a lot of the chasing was like just the same thing, like them running through somewhere and then going into a room and shutting the door and Shakma trying to get in. And
But it was always super funny when they'd have shots of like Shakma just like randomly like sitting in a hallway and like they'd see
Yeah.
it, and, you know,
they'd be like,
stuff
oh
that.
no. And like
Yeah.
some of the times Sam would try to like, all right, Shakma, calm down, like trying to like reason with this baboon, and it doesn't work.
No. Yeah, I would say there's some, it was almost like some Scooby-Doo-esque like chasing where it's like, you know, in one
Yeah,
and the other.
yeah.
Except Shakma
So-
will fucking kill you.
The next like important things that happen is after all these parts, like this is where Sam realizes like, you know, we need to get some help, but they need to find everybody. So Tracy was like at this point they break off. Tracy says she's going to go to the 6th floor to look for Bradley because they don't know that he's dead yet, and that Sam's going to go to the 3rd floor to look for Gary.
Yeah.
So this, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. And so this is when like coming up here then like so Tracy has like her no never mind. I think I'm on the wrong. Who do we follow up with first then? Is it Sam or
So
Tracy?
what-
Sorry.
It's Tracy, and she kind of like fidgets with the walkie-talkie to get it to a different you know,
frequency. Yeah.
frequency so she can communicate, and she ends up actually communicating with Gary, and Gary's like, well, she tells him something's fishy's going on, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go to the 6th floor.
And he
So
tries to
he-
take the elevator, right?
Yeah, but somehow Shakma got on the elevator or whatever, because
Yeah,
like
that wasn't explained very well.
because the next thing you see is like Tracy's on that floor and the elevator opens and Gary's just getting fucking bushwhacked by.
Yeah.
You're like, how the fuck did that baboon get on the elevator? Because like right before that, Sam makes a mention.
There's a shot. I remember that of Shakma pressing one of the elevator
Oh
buttons.
yeah, that's right. He's like, ding, 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 ding. Because before that, Sam makes a comment where he's like, "Well, Shakma's going to be stuck on the 5th floor." Well, they were wrong.
They were wrong. Shakma
But yeah.
Shakma's learned how to use a fucking elevator now.
Tracy basically just watches fucking Gary get brutalized.
Yeah, that's right. And he and then
He gets shredded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's what I was gonna say. It was like his mauling was one of the first I think that was really like just like Shakma going to town on somebody, like you seeing it, like, you know, like you see him chasing and kind of like getting little bits in, but he fucking mauled Gary. Like,
Yeah. And Tracy just watches it all, and then she gets, you know, another chase scene happens, and she gets chased into a bathroom, which she kind of gets stuck in for a little while.
yeah,
Actually,
she gets,
like, yeah.
well, that she gets chased into there, and there's like a sort of back and forth. She tries to get back out because she drops her walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And then Shakma chases her back in there or whatever.
Yeah, he ends, long story short, he ends up making it into the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's trying to like bust a vent open, but I didn't, there's 2 people that I thought were going to make it, and she was one of them.
I really didn't. Yeah, that was the most surprising death to me. I thought Tracy was gonna like walk away from this movie. But I was like, what a bummer when she was like, I mean, maybe this is a small thing, but when she was backing away the second time into the bathroom, she grabs this like trash can, and instead of like doing anything useful with it, she like knocks it over and it just props the door open. And so I'm like, oh shit, of course Shakma's got you now.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah,
and he does. There's this scene because she's like in like a stall trying to, like you said, trying to get up into the vent, and there's like this shot of him like Shakma like sitting on the floor right in front of the toilet, and then you just like, you know, see him like jump, and then you hear a bunch of like screamy, scruffly noises.
Yeah,
and then like
and
Tracy's like trying to crawl back up. Like,
yeah. And they like, you think for a second maybe she's gonna make it, but then he just jumps right back and yanks her back down again.
Shakma shows no mercy.
Yeah. She dies. So now Sam's on the 7th floor looking for Kim and I like how at first when he's talking to her, like he just kind of tells her that things are going wrong, but he doesn't have the balls to tell her that her brother's dead and that other people are dead.
Yeah, I would have just been like straight up with her like right away, probably.
Yeah.
Because I've been like, all right, we need to like here's the fucking gravity of the situation.
And I like how she's like bummed out because she's in the princess outfit, and like earlier in the movie she makes a mention to Sam that she's gonna have a surprise for him when he comes to win the game.
Yeah.
And she's all like more upset that he didn't say anything about how cute her princess costume was, and that
they take this time to give her this line where she's like, "Thanks for noticing my costume" or something like that.
Yeah.
You're just like, nobody's got time for that. Shakma's on the fucking loose.
But also another important note is that Richard's girlfriend is now outside in a car waiting for him. And Kim tries a couple times to like alert her, first with yelling and then with like throwing things out the window, but to no avail, you know?
Yeah, because first, the blinds or whatever situation, it seemed like they were like stuck in one place. They couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They're like, she was like trying to throw like pieces of silverware and stuff out of the window.
And then marbles later, but like it just wasn't getting close enough.
This was the first point in the movie, which I thought was really funny, where of all people, Kim runs back to like the kitchen drawer as they're like about to try and leave the floor.
Yeah.
To go grab some knives to defend themselves, and I was like, how come nobody else this entire time has thought about like any sort of weaponry with this fucking baboon on the loose?
Yeah.
So I was like, good on you, Kim. Keeping your head on the shoulders, on your shoulders.
But so Sam's like, I'm gonna go look for Tracy. You try to alert Laura, and that's what I'm talking about. Where she tries throwing stuff out the window, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then so first Sam finds Gary's dead body, like, and then he eventually finds Tracy's dead body. But man, this guy had a shitty day with how many dead bodies this guy finds.
Dude, for real though, man, for real. Like, so he finds Gary's,
Richards.
He finds Richards. He finds
Bradley's. Yeah. Sorensen's.
He gets Sorensen's keys. So that's a cool approach of this sequence.
True.
But you, dude, like that. Actually, I will say, the scene when Sam comes upon Tracy's body.
Oh man, yeah.
Fucking gets you a little bit. Like it.
Well,
was
yeah,
like,
rightfully
dude,
so.
Like it's really slow, and this is where like part of those like this movie had some like kind of slow, sort of drawn out moments. This was one of them that really worked though, because he's kind of like walking into the scene, and you're kind of taking it all, and what's happened as the viewer, which is what's interesting, But yeah, when he comes up, he's just devastated. He falls to the fucking floor. He's like, just starts like fucking, immediately. He's not like full on sobbing, but you can tell he's headed there. But like, he grabs this like gold chain or whatever that she has, and he's like,
that would suck.
Yeah, it would have sucked. But it was a very emotional scene, probably the most emotional scene in the movie.
Yeah, it was sad.
But yeah, dude, he like fucking. He's just piling up bodies at this point. And meanwhile, like you said, Kim ends up finding like a bag of marbles. Tries to use those to get a hold of Laura, or just get her attention. Laura ends up driving away. So
she even like has a flashlight that she's in the window like flashing down, and Laura's like, those guys and their stupid game or something, and just peels out.
Yeah, dude, exactly. She's just like idiots. It was just, I mean, I like, in her situation, in her defense, she had been waiting out there for a very long time.
Right. Yeah, she had been, and she thought it was going to be like a quick,
She's like, what? Yeah.
I mean, obviously she doesn't know that Richard's dead, but he made it seem like it was going to be this quick, game. So she's mad, and she leaves.
Yeah. And so this is when like Kim goes to try and find Richard.
Yeah, she like leaves a note. Yeah.
Yeah. And she decides to try to venture off on her own.
Which did not turn out well.
God, no. Because once again, Shakma seems to have.
Okay, so I know I said a second ago that where I said there's two people I didn't think that were gonna die. I didn't think that Tracy was gonna die, but I really didn't think that we're gonna kill the youngest fucking person in the movie.
No, neither did I, dude. And I mean, like, they just fucking go for it. Like, Shakma takes out Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, then again, dude, like,
it doesn't show it like it no. Shows like she's one where it's like off screen, you know.
Yeah. They were like that one would have been too far.
not really. I mean,
no,
kids have died in movies before, but still.
For sure. I just thought that was funny though, because I was like they killed everybody else off. I was like, why is this one why is this one off screen? But
now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, so Sam, there's this really like slow scene of Sam discovering Kim's body.
Yeah.
And he basically goes back into the room that she's dead in at this point.
Dude,
and he comes back out.
Yeah, and at this point, man, that guy would be so fucked up mentally. Like, all his friends were dead. His professor's dead. He's found his dead girlfriend who was maybe more like they were gonna, they were clearly in love, and then he finds his buddy's younger sister who had a crush on him. Like, you'd be so fucked up mentally after that.
Dude, for real though, like, I mean, you're just trapped in this building with this thing that's slowly picking off everybody you give a shit about, and I mean, that's a good point, man. Like, and that's the thing. That's what I mean. Like, where this, like, at the end of this, this movie, Sam's character kind of takes this interesting turn almost, where it's like you just said, he's completely he's the only one left. It's him and Shakma at this point. And like, he's basically moved his friends' dead bodies. He's like, discovered all of them. See, here's the thing, I'm gonna let Bowie out real quick. I'll edit this. God dang it, Bowie. Get no. Sorry about that. So yeah,
that's fine. You can edit it or not. It's cool.
Yeah, either way. But
what were you saying?
So Sam, like you said, like he's gone through the ringer. He's discovered everybody's dead. He's basically like, he's fucking lost it. Like, and he's gonna try and he's gonna try and get Shakma at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he sets up. There's like this whole thing where he sets up like this elaborate trap kind of situation with like some wires and water
and a mouse as bait.
Yeah, and like it was really interesting. I thought that was gonna be the climactic moment.
Yeah,
he lures Shakma into this trap, and then Shakma kind of like walks up to this, okay, so it was actually kind of a cool shot. So Sam's like waiting underneath this counter with his like trigger for the electricity or whatever, and his like poker with the maybe some more tranquilizer in it or some shit, and like Shakma kind of like walks up slowly, so like kind of investigating the scene, sees this mouse in the cage, and ends up like kind of going up to the the mouse in the cage, and then boom, then Sam zaps the motherfucker. Like, it just pans out.
It just doesn't work. Yeah.
No, it just doesn't work. It pans out, like, I think to the exterior of the building, and you just hear like Shakma going like, ah!
And then like lights flickering out.
Yeah, exactly. But
you quickly learn that it didn't do shit.
Yeah.
Because
superpowered motherfucker.
Because Shakma, like, Sam goes out in the hallway, and then Shakma attacks and is like biting Sam's neck. Like, Sam gets fucked up here, but he stabs Shakma, who stops his attack for now and runs off. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, Sam's like badly hurt. He ends up he goes back to the original like room where Bradley was found, and he looks into a mirror and sees all these different wounds.
Dude, and
then,
to the actor's credit, man, he's like really changed how he's like moving and everything. He's like wobbling, and he's like noticeably fucking slower and shit.
Which you would be like losing all that blood and like So the end, the way Shakma's demise.
Oh,
that was such a cool fucking this scene, dude. I did not see that. I watched this a month or two ago. I must have fell asleep because I do not remember.
Dude. It was cool, man. It was cool. So I thought the first one, the electrocution thing, was going to be the big moment.
Yeah.
but the way that this is set up was so fucking dope. So like, basically, like I can't. Sam doesn't lure Shakma into the room necessarily, does he?
Well, kind of. Like he goes out and he's standing there and he drops the knife.
Fair enough. He drops the knife.
Yeah.
And that's when like it kind of like alerts Shakma. It seems like, that like maybe this is now prey again.
Yeah, for sure.
And so Shakma kind of enters the room, and you just see Sam just kind of like looks like he's fucking given up.
Yeah,
and he's like just waiting for Shakma to fucking take him at this point.
Totally.
And then Shakma just starts barreling towards him. Oh my god, dude! And in that moment,
he just flies through the air. Breaks through a mirror. You're like, oh, okay. Like he used the mirror and just instantly flies into the fucking incinerator.
Dude,
like that was just crafty.
Behind. I'm like, gotcha.
That was crafty.
It was good, dude. And honestly,
burns him to death. Yeah.
Burns the motherfucker alive. Yeah, that was gnarly. But that was such a good, that honestly, like, it was a good trick. Because, like, honestly, at this point in the movie, I thought that, like, I really did just think, like, Sam, that was going to be it. Like, Sam was just going to, like, Shakma was going to get Sam, and that was going to be, like, the end of it.
Yeah.
But instead, Sam got his a little bit. But what's crazy to me is, like, the aftermath of that. So, like, Sam burns Shakma. And he's kind of just like walking down the hall. He's still like losing a lot of
disoriented, yeah.
And then eventually he just fucking falls face down, man. And he's just like, he sees the clue. I think the whole prize or like the what they were supposed, like a clue or something, whatever they were supposed to capture for the game.
A stuffed monkey, yeah.
And he just goes, "I win," and that's and
that's the end.
I'm pretty sure that motherfucker dies right there, dude.
I think he died.
I think Shakma killed the entire fucking cast of this movie.
Totally.
Like damn, dude. That was a cool ending. I will say that. The movie it's like
there's worse movies, but yeah.
I was so surprised that I was as into this like killer baboon movie as I was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But I think like a lot of that had to do with like the use, like the idea of like the game kind of setup. I thought that was really cool, and just the use of Typhoon, the baboon, actually, as an actual, you know, the use of a real baboon was really fucking cool to me. Like every time you saw Shakma like running up to a fucking door or whatever, you know, or chasing somebody, it's like, oh, I got me. That was so Shakma. Yeah. You know what? I'd give it a watch if you got some fucking time on your hands. You've got an hour and 40 minutes to kill.
2 out of 5 bananas for
2 out of 5 bananas. I'll throw another 2 bananas on there, so it'll technically be a 4.5 out of 10 bananas.
Yeah, there we go.
We're certified.
Jesus,
dude, yeah, Shakma. Man, okay, so we got another movie picked out for next episode.
Damn right.
It seems like it's gonna be a juicy one. So I think it's a 1990s movie, if I'm correct.
It is. It's a 90s movie. Yeah.
What's the name of it?
It's like a peak 90s. Like there's so much like 90s stuff in it. It's called Mikey, and without giving too much away, it's basically about a psychotic fucking kid that kills people. So.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Shakma was really was another fun one to watch. I keep loving that. Like we're just stacking up these movies now, man. These like this has been super fun for me. I hope you're still enjoying this.
Yeah.
I hope the hot dogs are still enjoying it because they keep listening. So the numbers are there. So that's nice.
That's good.
Hell yeah. All right.
That's what I like to hear. All right.
Well, hey, we'll sign off for this week. We'll see you on episode 15.
Adios.
Muchachos.